Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fine today. Once more, it's Prophet Samuel Fombang, and I'm here to give you a prophecy for the word. And this particular message is a message of judgment. Now, remember at the end of 2025, when I was releasing the word for the year 2026, I spoke about exposure. And I spoke about some key things. I said in this coming year, you'll see exposure about many things that had taken place underneath. In the former years, when you heard even about the COVID, you heard about wars, and they made it appear like something that came out from nowhere. Meanwhile, all these things were planned. I told you in this year, you see them being exposed.
I see deep secrets about wars, even the war in Ukraine being revealed. Most of the things many were forced to believe as truth by the media would turn out to be lies, and this also will be exposed. I see even issues linked to COVID being brought up. Many shall advocate for the truth.
And I even told you that you see the Epstein files released, and that once these files shall be released, you will see many things that had been hidden for years being exposed, even about politicians, businessmen, those in the entertainment world, and many others.
There shall be more development regarding the Epstein files. I see a court ruling ordering their release. The public shall finally get to have deeper knowledge of what they contain. Based on that, some governments and prominent figures shall be in panic because of sensitive and shameful information which shall be made public.
And right now, all those things are playing out before us.
There is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
And after I spoke about exposure, I also said, I saw the Lord bringing those who had committed all these atrocities to book. They were going to pay for the things they did and hid under the carpets for years, thinking it would never come to light. The Lord told me he would judge them, and it shall be an open judgment.
It's a year of great exposure and uncovering of secrets. I see things which were hidden for years, even about governments, political leaders, world-class elites, and men of influence being revealed. Some shall even be prosecuted and shall have to answer for their crimes. Those same things they thought had been put under the carpet for good shall come back to the surface. I see shame, I see imprisonment, and I see death. The Lord, the righteous judge, says, even your money, influence, and status wouldn't save you.
And regarding this judgment, I spoke about imprisonment, and I also spoke about death.
I see imprisonment and I see death.
And today, I am here to speak to you about the judgment of death. James chapter 5 verse 1 to 6, the Bible says, now listen, you rich people, weep and wail because of the misery that is coming upon you. Your wealth has rotted, and the moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. The corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days. Look, the wages you failed to pay, the workers who mowed your fields are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty. You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence. You have fattened yourselves in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the innocent one who was not opposing you. And this last verse is the key verse. You have condemned and murdered the innocent one who wasn't opposing you. And the Lord has sent me to release a judgment, and this is a judgment of death. And I will give 3 names in this particular prophecy of men who are going to die. I'm not talking about imprisonment. I'm talking about death. This is a judgment of death. Many others will be brought to book, but these people I'm speaking about now, the Lord told me, release a judgment of death, because that is what will happen to them. As the Epstein files were released, we saw some shocking revelations about pandemics being planned.
Preparing for pandemics. Let's discuss the next step. For example, how we officially involve the WHO and the CDC. I hope we can pull this off, says Jeffrey Epstein. Look at that. Planning for pandemics.
And they spoke about these 2 different mails.
There's the email right there. Let's bring in the World Health Organization, find the draft agenda for preparing for pandemics. Who was Jeffrey Epstein so close with? Bill Gates. What did Bill Gates always say? It's time for us to simulate pandemics, simulate pandemics, simulate pandemics. The pandemic simulation sponsored by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
We didn't simulate this. We didn't practice.
On behalf of our partners in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
So both the health policies and economic policies, we find ourselves in uncharted territory.
Event 201 was not the first scripted exercise.
You did simulate it. You can now see it inside of the Bill Gates pandemic plans emails to Jeffrey Epstein. Unsealed DOJ documents the U.S. Epstein trove reportedly include 2011 emails laying out a sophisticated playbook for monetizing future pandemics through hidden financial structures. Epstein personally urged JP Morgan's elite asset management boss to create offshore arms and donor-advised funds tied to Bill Gates' initiatives explicitly designed to rake in cash under the guise of charity. And here you go, an offshore arm especially for vaccines. Bill Gates invested in the vaccine industry. In 2017, Bill Gates discussed plans for a pandemic simulation with Jeffrey Epstein. 2017? Isn't that exactly when Dr. Fauci was declaring that there's going to be a surprise outbreak? That's the same year that Dr. Fauci said,
But also there will be a surprise outbreak.
no question there'll be a surprise outbreak. Same year.
And they precise something to eliminate the poor people of the world.
Issue that really grabbed me as urgent were issues related to population.
In 1998, Dr. Zabin became the founding director of the Bill and Melinda Gates Institute for Population Control.
We see a lot of things that are going very well, things like reducing childhood death. And first, we've got population. Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. The problem is the population is growing the fastest where people are less able to deal with it. So it's in the very poorest places that you're going to have a tripling in population by 2050. And so their ability to feed, educate, provide jobs, stability, protect the environment in those locations mean they're faced with an almost impossible problem.
And what the developing world does not need is more children.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work, is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world? And thank goodness the converse is absolutely true.
This is a very important question to get right, because it was absolutely key for me. When our foundation first started up, it was focused on reproductive health. That was the main thing we did, because I thought, population growth in poor countries is the biggest problem they face. You've got to help mothers who want to limit family size have the tools and education to do that. And I thought that's the only thing that really counts.
Now, the poor people of the world are those living in desperate conditions, those who don't have access to certain things and don't have a certain standard of living. But also, when they refer to poor people of the world, in a way also, they are trying to directly point at Africa. Because when you speak about poverty in the world today, there are many nations that are poor, even in Europe, in Asia. But when they talk about the poor, the first continent they see is Africa. So their plan was to majorly eliminate Africans. They've always coveted this land, and they saw that the best way to get it fully was to take away the people. And that's why you remember Bill Gates saying that he has much fear about Africa during the time of COVID, because they expected that their plan would work against the poor people they had to eliminate. Why did he have fears about Africa? Is he an African? Was he married to an African? Does he have African children? No. But he had a particular concern about Africa and wanted to help Africa in every way, because he was so afraid that Africans shall die due to COVID. And to their shock, Africa was the least touched continent by COVID, because we went to God in prayer and said, not in our territory. We did not respect all the laws and all the confinement and everything, but we're the least touched continent on the world. That is a fact. If they tell you any other thing, it's a lie. Africa was the least affected continent on the world by COVID. Meanwhile, it was the continent they had planned to eliminate. When they said poor people, they were referring to Africa. And I've come today to give you a word of judgment. And what I'm telling you cannot be changed. These are 3 names the Lord has given me. And these names are of men who have brought so much darkness to this world for years. And these people are not the only people in it. There are many more. And there's even a president included. And I will not give his name in this particular prophecy. But I'm coming with another prophecy, because this president also played a key role in what concerns wars. And I told you there will be exposure about wars and exposure about the COVID. We are seeing the COVID exposures now. More files are coming. And in those documents coming, you're going to see how they planned the war in Ukraine. It was all planned by them. And they pushed these people into war. Documents are coming, and when those documents will be out, I will release the name of the president and release a judgment upon him also. He's also going to die, and other names that the Lord shall give me. But at this moment, I'm most especially talking about the COVID and vaccines. The way they have used the World Health Organization and other things to destroy lives around the nations. They talk about vaccines, campaigns, and many more things. Meanwhile, their main project was to eliminate lives, and especially in Africa.
Also, through their different fundings about agriculture and the rest, giving free seeds and everything, people didn't know they received poisonous things from these men. And I've come today, as I said, to place a judgment. And these 3 men whose names I call, their life shall be requested of them. Yes, because I see the angel of God standing behind the door and is about to open it for them to exit. Their life shall be requested of them, and this is a judgment by heaven because of the atrocities they have committed. And these men are none other than Bill Gates, George Soros, and Anthony Fauci. I repeat, Bill Gates, George Soros, and Anthony Fauci. Your lives are being requested of you, and you will go because of the atrocities you have committed, especially using the COVID. The lives you wasted, the things you did behind the scenes, making as if you're trying to help people. Meanwhile, you're implementing your agenda to wipe away lives. The Lord has sent me to tell you, your lives are being requested of you, and this is a judgment. And all those who walk with them, some shall go to prison and others shall die. But this will be a sign to you that none of you will escape. The Lord told me in 2025, in this year, He will expose you, and when He exposes you, He will judge you. The exposure has started with the Epstein files. Many more are coming. And I'm telling you now, for these 3, it is already done. And as you see it happen, all those around them, know your own judgment also is already acted, because it's the same with them. Some of you will go to prison, some will die. But these 3, the Lord told me clearly, they are going. So I've come to release this word, and I speak now at this moment, saying it is activated, and nothing and no one can stop it nor change it. And this will be a sign to many others that you don't play with the lives of human beings. They belong to God. You didn't create them. You cannot do anything about their lives. Any man who takes the place of God, God will always make him remember He is the only God and no one else. And because you took the place of God, deciding over the lives of men, especially to kill them, at this moment, heaven is requesting your lives and you will go. There is nothing you can do to change it. There is nothing you can do to stop it. And even beg for more time, it will not happen. What I've told you is already acted, and it will come to pass swiftly. All shall see it, and they shall fear the Lord, knowing He is still the ruler of this earth, and no one can do things without the permission of the Lord and go scot-free. It's not possible. Everyone who comes against the people created in His image shall have to answer for that before Him, and your time has come to answer for your crimes. God bless you all. That was Prophet Samuel Fombang. Shalom.